Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's Matt Cook with Jonathan Green and Men's Mayhem. And each week we dissect some very interesting relationships and dating questions and give you some really, really great advice that you'll never hear anywhere else. Um, I am Matt Cook, and I have about 700,000 subscribers. I'm a relationship and sex and health expert. And Jonathan Green was a world famous dating coach, one of the top dating coaches in the world until he's retired now on a tropical island. And here we all are. How my wife, she's in her late 20s. I'm in my early 30s. We've been together for 7 years. Don't have kids. We're great friends. We love, care, and trust each other. But somehow we kind of got a house and we started sort of separating. You know, like I'd be in this part of the house, she'd be in that part of the house. And I guess what happens is we sort of started prioritizing, being with our friends, our own friends. For me, it was like playing computer games and things. For her, it was her friends. We started moving apart. And so she said that she loves me, and we had a discussion, but she says she doesn't feel attracted to me anymore after all this. And she says, well, I don't even think there's a way to reignite the spark. Okay, so now the ball's in my court. What do I do to revive our intimacy? I really want to keep our relationship. I'll do whatever it takes. I feel very attracted to her, and I don't know what to do to reignite things and bring things back.
If he really is willing to do anything, then he can save this. So what you have to, there's a couple of things you have to make some dramatic changes because it sounds like everything he does is lame. And you have to stop doing that. So the real answer, right, is to disappear for a while. It sounds like you're not seeing each other anyways. You may have a sixth sense situation. Like maybe he's actually dead and doesn't know it. Like that's what it sounds like, the sixth sense where you
They
think your
haven't had
relationship.
sex for 10 months, by the way.
Yeah. So he might, it's possible. Is he a psychologist? Is it possible that an ex-patient killed him and he doesn't realize it? A classic sixth
I
sense
saw a movie
situation.
like that once.
So what we have here is exactly, he has, first of all, he shouldn't have put up with it for 10 months, right? Like he let the relationship
Right.
die. What you have to do is to escape, he's in the friend zone. You have to do a couple of things. The first is you have to break rapport, which means you have to disappear. You've already kind of done that. So you want her to not see you for a while so that you can do a change. And when she sees you, you look different. Now, the next thing you want to do is go to the gym and turn it up to 11. You want to make a dramatic change. And in 30 days, you can drop 10 or 20 pounds, especially if you haven't done anything in a long time. You can put on a couple of pounds. You can make a really big change. You're not going to get cut that fast, but you can make a big enough change. And she's going to go, what's happening? So the first thing you want to do is create a dramatic physical change because you're trying to reignite the physical intimacy. What this will do is because you will look like a different person. And usually, right, when do women start going to the gym all the time? Right before or after a divorce. So women associate physical change with you've got someone else in your life. So you're planting a seed. You're becoming more attractive and you're planting the seed that maybe you've got another woman in your life. The second thing is all of these hobbies that you do, take them out of the house. Don't play video games in the house. What you need to do is go out
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then say things that are dual meaning, which is, oh, I'm going over to a friend's house. They're going to cook me dinner. This is one of the most Jedi things you can say because men never cook each other dinner. So she'll assume it's another woman, but you're not going to say that because you don't want to tell her that you're cheating on her. You just want to plant the possibility that other women are interested in you. Um, because he's waited so long. I talk about this all the time, right? Sending little backfires to prevent this from happening. All the time. So I was with my wife at the gym the other day and I said to her, I go, listen, I'm really uncomfortable. That girl won't stop looking at me. And I said, I want you to watch what she does. And of course, then the woman comes over and uses a machine near me. It's not a very big gym. So the odds of
So
that
now
happening,
your wife interprets everything this woman does as that she wants
yeah,
to.
it's called a jealousy plot line. You plant it. And I have
Hmm?
no idea if the woman's interested in me or not, right? She's
No,
there training with her
there's no
health.
signal or anything. You just made it up. Could be you just made it all up. Of course.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's a Schrodinger's cat. You
Yeah. Well.
don't check, right? But you plant that seed. And that's what you want to do is let her know that
Okay.
other women are interested in you. And you want to slowly build up to this. And then This only takes like this is like
Get a haircut, different
4 weeks.
haircut,
Yeah,
maybe
change how
get
you
us some
dress.
new clothes, a different
Yeah, do
look, as
all of
if
the things that you would do.
yeah,
Do everything you would do if you got divorced and you had to get a new girlfriend, right? This is what you would do anyways. You're just doing it now.
right,
Then what
right.
you do is you want to start planting enough seeds that you want her to feel what it's like to be divorced, to make sure that it's what she wants. So she needs to see that other women are interested in you, that you're more attractive, and that what it feels like to be alone, not in a negative way. You're not trying to hurt her, but
Hmm.
absence is where you can rekindle a spark. If there's any spark left, if you keep blowing on it,
Right,
you'll blow it out. But if you back away, it has the chance to reignite. And I would look
right.
back and see what were you like before? Because it sounds like he's gotten lazy. I have a feeling he's put on weight, playing video games all the
Most of
time.
us do.
So
Yes.
what you want to do is put all of these things in place. And it's a very practical set of steps, right? She
Yeah,
hasn't
very
broken up with you. You've just fallen into the friend zone with each other, which is very recoverable. And
salvageable. I agree with you.
if
It's very
she starts
salvageable.
to see that she has to first of all believe that she could really lose you. So you have to not make an ultimatum, but demonstrate that other women are interested in you, and that will make
But
her
it's what
go,
you do. It's nothing what you said. It's completely
yeah.
what you do. That's the whole point. So she reaches that
And then
conclusion.
you can bring things to a head in 6 to 8 weeks, right? Give it enough time for her to be like something's different.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then you sit her down for a dog and go, listen, I thought about what you said a little while ago, and the last thing I would want to do is ever do something to belittle you or embarrass you or make you feel bad. But a couple of women have been flirting with me. I haven't flirted back, but I just
Yeah.
want you. And what you're doing now, you're creating an ultimatum, but without saying ultimatum, right? This just puts a little more pressure on her. You got to
Yeah.
wait to do this long until the other things are there and it's kind of
The
boiling.
other thing's been built,
You-
and now it's like the logical thing. Uh-oh, I'm going to lose him. Some other woman
yeah,
wants him.
you
Now
build
she
up
wants
to
him.
it. You
So
go,
that creates desire again.
and you're kind of saying, I respect you. I would never do something to hurt you. But if our relationship is over, then I want to let you go. So the other thing you can say is like, oh, I would never want to hold you back from,
It's not fair to you.
yeah,
It's
I
not fair
want
to you, and I wouldn't ever do that to you.
when you start saying things like that, people really freak out because what she wants is the status quo. And you have to let her know there's two options. We're either together or not together. And
Yeah.
it's his fault. Like it sounds
Yeah,
like
it
it's
is his fault.
100% his fault. He's really dropped the ball.
Well, when people
So
get separate, they get into a place and they get sort of separate lives in their house. Especially now, he's got into computer games, maybe porn, who knows. She got into her things. It's really a tough
so
situation.
what you can do, I'll give you one other thing. So I like video games too. I play video games because it's something I can do for like a 20-minute block here and there. I can't even imagine like doing an 8-hour session, but like after I finish work at 2 in the morning, no one's awake, I can play for 20 minutes. Or no, not even, I don't think I could ever do an hour. But what I do is I get games that I can play with her. So there's games, my wife likes horror movies. And there are some video games that are choose your own adventure horror movies.
Okay,
And you
that's
don't
cool.
use a lot of buttons. So you just do walk around and you'll push like
That's
investigate.
cool.
There's like one button. And we played this one where you start off in your set of twin sisters and they always die because it's the prologue. But my wife, of course, that killed the twins. I go, I can't believe you killed those girls. They seem so nice. Like she's
That
freaking
sounds
out.
fun.
Like it really builds a lot of tension. So we're playing a
Okay.
new one now that is, I can't play it by myself. It's too scary for me. So we have to play it together. And we're playing one. They have a new one where I have to do a lot. It's a lot of buttons, so I do the controlling, right? If it's like a real video game where you have to like use all the buttons and
Yeah.
I do it, but
Yeah.
I'm like I can't play without you. My kids came in the room and they're screaming. They're like, because his wife, you're playing a guy and he's at a cabin in the woods, and then the wife disappears and he has a flashlight and the batteries die and he's like running and looking for it. I could never play that by myself. Like even talking about it, I'm getting nervous. So if you really want to play games, find a way to do something that is together. Because I don't like horror movies. My wife does, and it's always strange to me because there's this balance of like you get a relationship and then your wife is your only friend, or you go the other direction where you maintain all of your other friendships and then your relationship with your
Then
wife
you're
sucks.
never home. Then you're never home.
So they don't have any
Yeah,
kids. So he
you have to
should be able
maintain friendships. So you got your buddies Friday, the Wednesday's poker
yeah,
night, Saturday. Then you might as
you
well
have
not
2
be
nights with
together.
the boys
So
and 5 nights with her. And
yeah,
I would do the other thing I would do is
that's reasonable.
another thing you can do is always leave on a high note. This is really important. if you've ever, there's an amazing episode of Seinfeld where whenever he's in a meeting, George, if he says
Yeah,
something really funny and everyone laughs, he goes, "Gotta go," and he walks right out of the
I
meeting.
remember that. That was cool.
That's
It's a great
one of
idea.
the best scientific trainings of that technique, even though it's very old, like 30 years ago. So
Yeah.
whenever you're talking to her, don't put pressure on her. Don't be like, "Oh, I miss you so much." None of that stuff. Just
No,
talk to her like
no,
it's
no.
not a big deal. Tell a joke. As soon as she laughs, walk away. This will remind her of the good part of you, because most people, a conversation starts slow, gets to a high point, and then goes down. Most people stay until it dies naturally, and that means
Right.
they go, "Oh, it's finished." So they never
And
have
that's the
a
part people remember. They remember the last part.
the end.
So you're leaving on a bad note, basically, when it's kind of died down. That's what they
Leave on a
remember.
cliffhanger.
Yeah,
So
leave
you
on a cliffhanger.
cliffhanger,
I
and
like your
then
ideas. I think your ideas are great. Okay. But I have a different idea, but
I
do
want to
you
hear
have
it.
any other tips for you, or should I share mine?
No, I think the question is, and I think, I'm thinking about the serotonin thing we talk about is like, can you
Oxytocin.
oxytocin versus serotonin, right? Yeah, can you is it that she just doesn't like the physical, like it sounds like, are you still friends is my question, right?
Okay.
You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like
So
will
I
she
will tell you
cuddle
what
with cuddle?
okay. Yeah. So that's exactly right. Will she cuddle with you? Will she still do that? If you asked her to, would she do that? Let's just sit on the couch and cuddle together, no sex, just cuddle. Will you be willing to do that? So I found that any relationship can be reignited and saved without any of the. I'm not saying what you said is bad or wrong because I think it's very, very good. But the direct route is to ignite this desire in each other that is through building up oxytocin through oxytocin building activities. Oxytocin is the hormone that builds up when we love somebody and we want them. It's not just sexual, it could be built up around your pet or your children or your other things, but when it's a sexual component to it, it's very, very strong. And it builds when you are in a situation with somebody that's intimate without having ejaculatory sex, just to be very clear. So if she get her to cuddle, like let's say 50 minutes, let's start over again, honey. Let's do 50 minutes tonight. Or, maybe they watch TV together. Instead of being on separate chairs, they cuddle together on one side of the couch. After a few weeks of this, the desire gets rekindled again. If it can be done at all, it can be done then. And I have never found any couple that did this who didn't get back together again.
Yeah,
So,
the question is if they'll do it. So
right.
that's my question of how distant they
Well,
are.
he said he'll do anything, so it's up to her.
Well,
He has to convince her to
That's
do
what I
it.
mean. So maybe he said something like, and I want to fire this at you because I've been thinking about this, is like, you know what? I have an idea. Give me, how many days do you think you need? 7, 5?
You need about 20 days, really, but for the whole thing. But
Well,
it starts feeling really good after a week, I would say.
so let's say, give me 7 days. Let's
Right.
just try something without, let's make an agreement. We're not going to be intimate together for 7 days. We're not even going to try,
Right.
but we
Right.
are going to see if we still have a connection to it. And then you do the cuddling. So maybe you phrase it that way. I'm just thinking about it
Right.
because it's just a question, because there's a certain point at which a person goes, I'm not doing that. Right. And
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like it's that far because she wants to keep living together, and you go, okay. But here's the thing I want to fire at you. I was thinking about this, is that one of the things you can do is like watch a movie together that will trigger that type of cuddling with her, whether it's a romantic comedy, like you watch
Mhm.
Sleepless in Seattle,
hmm
and ignore the stalking elements, or you watch like a horror movie that causes them to jump into your arms. There's
So
other things
the
that
science
trigger.
of it says for a woman that's premenopause, hasn't had menopause yet, if you watch a scary movie together and she gets scared, that she also gets aroused. It's a fact that was discovered
Problem
by
is,
this
I've never had a
scientist.
movie. I've never seen a movie with my wife where I was less scared than her. I have never tried that
Well,
one.
yeah. So you have to show mastery in this, and the woman is scared, and it's not just a grabbing. It's an effect. It could be on a roller coaster. It could be a date where you go to the shooting range, and she has never fired a gun before, but you
Yeah.
have. All sorts of things where you go on a date, which we call this the passion trigger. It was discovered by Dolph Zillman. Dr. Zillman is very, very famous. I think he's still alive. So that's a good idea, but you don't need it. If you just can get her to agree, And if we don't feel that for each other, then we'll split up, but let's give it our best shot. I would really love it if you would do me that favor. And if she does it, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, it only is a question of if she's willing to do it,
Yeah.
and you're all good. So those are a couple
Yeah.
ways to get her to be willing. So that's great.
This is also one thing brought to you by the sponsor of this is our wonderful company, Feral. Remember, you're just one spray away. Feral is an attraction cologne with animalic accords that women can't get enough of on a man. So you want to have every advantage and edge that you can. And they'll give you a free bottle. You just have to help them out with shipping. Go to attractivehabit.com.